Here's to 21. This is Laura Megan Hawkins, who is a day and a half old, going to Arrow Park Hospital, weighing 6 pounds 14 ounces on the 5th of September 2000. Having a bit of a whinge because she wants some more food.
Merry Christmas!
Hello, so this is a bit of a different spot, but this week is my 21st birthday. On Sunday it's my 21st, and yeah, that's a big milestone really, isn't it? So I wanted to make a bit of a thing of it and document it, and so that's why we're here. That's why we're here documenting it. You'll have just seen some clips of the day, I think it was like the day after I was born, of my mum, and yeah, that was 21 years ago on a Monday. I was born on the 5th of September 2000, and so this year I turned 21, and I'm kind of having a bit of a crisis about it, I'm not gonna lie. It's one of those things that like you always know is coming. Like, I knew my 21st was coming for a few years obviously, but only this kind of last week has it really hit, and I'm like, oh, like I'm actually turning 21. That's almost like a proper adult. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to make a thing of it, document it. The last 21 years have been interesting. So I was born 5th of September 2000 in Arrow Park Hospital on the Wirral, which is still my nearest hospital. I was taken home to the place that I still live, and I had a pretty normal childhood. I went to the local school, it was a Christian school. We'd always grown up in the church, so we always went to church as well. Yeah, I had a pretty normal childhood. I don't really remember much of it, which is why I don't talk about my childhood much, just because like it must have been okay. It's got me to the place that I am now. I was lucky enough to live with my mum and my dad and my sister, who came along 3 years later. Fun fact, actually, I was an IVF baby. That's a random fact that not a lot of people know. Excuse the dogs, you can probably hear them in the background. But yeah, I was an IVF baby, take that as you will. So yeah, I was born then, and yeah, life's been pretty, I want to say plain sailing. It's not been plain sailing, it's just been life since, hasn't it? I went to secondary school. I went to West Kirby Grammar, where I was there for 7 years, all the way through the end of sixth form, and then in 2019 I started at Liverpool Hope Uni, doing geography and education, and I'm just about to get into my 3rd year, my final year there. And life's going so quickly. Obviously pandemic took some of that away, but it's been good ever since really. So that's the kind of academics behind my life. I've always kind of enjoyed academics. It was something to focus on, it was something to keep me occupied, but that doesn't mean that there's not been the fair share of heartbreak and grief and loss and love and happiness and joy. Life is just a mixture of so many things, and for some reason 21 just seems like a good time to sit back and reflect. So I spent my afternoon kind of looking through like old baby videos. I found my dad's old cine films, which he filmed in like the 1970s, and so I've got to get a glimpse back of like his youth. I think he turned 21 in 1978. I'm sure he won't mind me saying this. So some of the clips will have been from around the same age that I am now. And it was just nice to be able to look back on what he was doing, going on holiday to the Isles of Scilly with his friends and his family, and it was so nice to see my granddad and my grandma like younger. It's weird, you don't think about grown-ups being young. That sounds really strange, but even when I was a kid, like I couldn't imagine growing up, and I still struggle to see myself as like a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old. I really struggle to see it, but I'll get there eventually, won't I? I really struggle to see myself at 21 as well at some point, so we're here, we're making it work. Yeah, there's been my fair share of friendships, like friendships and family have been the defining parts of my 21 years on this earth. I've had some absolutely wonderful friends, and I still have some absolutely wonderful friends. My circle is small, but that's okay. I know who my friends are, and I know who I can rely on, and they know that they can rely on me as well. As I've got older, I've realised that it's 100% quality over quantity when it comes to friends. It's not something that it's not that I don't look for friends, but I invest a lot of time in specific people, and so I have a fairly close-knit community of a few wonderful friends, and I'm celebrating with a few of them this weekend, which should be really nice. But yeah, uni's been great. It's been such a formative, well, 2 years so far. I'm 100% a different person than I was when I went to uni. I was very immature in my faith. I was kind of living for the world. I was living kind of how I wanted to. I learnt a lot in my first, well, especially my first 6 months of uni. I learnt a lot. I got stuck into a church. I met my current boyfriend, hopefully my only boyfriend, but we'll see where that takes us. Yeah, I was on the exec of this Christian Union. I've stepped up this year to be the president of the Christian Union. I've restarted this YouTube channel, and I love it. Like, I love the process of filming and editing and just being creative, because you don't really get that with academics at the moment anyway. Yeah, so that's up till now. And then thinking about looking towards the future. The future's terrifying. It's so terrifying, but yet it's so exciting. I don't know where I'm going to end up after next academic year, so I graduate in July maybe, and yeah, then life starts. I don't know what I'm going to do. I kind of went into my degree with the idea of going to become a geography teacher, but I'm less inclined to do that now. I don't know why. I've just had a bit of a change of heart, so I don't know where I'm going to end up. I don't know where I'm going to end up living. I don't know if I'm going to end up getting married, having kids. I say 9 years because I feel like the next big milestone is 30, isn't it? So the next 9 years have a lot in store. If I still have a YouTube channel in 30 years, no, not in 30 years, by the time I'm 30, in 9 years, which could be fairly possible, it'd be so interesting to sit down and chat about where my life has been, what my predictions for the future, what have I accomplished. Yeah, so if I'm talking about predictions for the future, in the next 9 years before I'm 30, I hope to get engaged, get married, maybe have my first kid. That sounds really scary, doesn't it? Like, having your first kid in the next 9 years, but it's entirely feasible. I graduate this academic year, like, yeah. Life is about to get exciting. Life is about to get busy. I'd like to have bought my own house by the time I'm 30, be living in it with my, hopefully, husband and maybe our child. It's just terrifying, isn't it? Like, life has so many ups and downs and twists and turns. Those big milestones in life are often the things that teach you so much, aren't they? As much as I don't want to wish heartbreak or loss, or I don't know what the word is, just scary events on myself. I do apologise about the seagull. I'm in my scareby. I can't do anything about it. As much as I don't wish those on myself, because they're really hard times, they really are, they definitely shape you into a different person. A lot of what makes me a very different person than I was when I went to uni was since I've started uni, my gran has died, and then last month my gramps died as well. So grief is very much still a big thing that I'm processing right now. And it doesn't ever really go away, does it? Grief never goes away. You learn to live alongside it, and you learn to live your life in honour of those people. So yeah, I don't know where I'll be in the next 10 years. I don't know how grief will still affect me, but life goes on, doesn't it? There's good and there's bad in every single day, and I think it's just about being grateful for what you do have when you've got it, before it becomes a memory and before it becomes something of the past. I think this is kind of where I'd ideally like to round this up. My goals, my ideas for the future are obviously uncertain. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 9 years. I don't know where I'm going to be living, who I'm going to be, if I'll even get on with my current version of myself. I hope I do. I hope I'm doing my future self proud. I hope I'm doing Gran and Gramps and Grandad proud, because they won't get to see these next parts of my life, which is really sad, but I hope I can still do them proud. So I'm going to bring this to the close, and because I don't drink anything, here's the next 9 years.